It's short now because I can only
Guys,
Yeah.
guys. We have some questions from your fan base and followers on social media.
Cool.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's cool.
Coming in, how did you meet?
So here's how we met. So I had to get in shape for a movie.
I was homeless. He was driving.
I was driving, yeah, and then I saw him. He asked me for
some
change.
coins and some change and stuff like that. I said, you know what? You look like someone that could probably train me and give me opportunity.
Give me opportunity.
Here we are.
No, so I was actually, I had to get in shape for a movie, and I was on a conference call with someone, another fitness influencer. Is it a fitness influencer? What's her title?
Actually, she's a legit expert, fitness expert.
Expert. Okay, I'm sorry.
Expert,
So I was on a conference call with the fitness expert.
Mutual friend
who knew Obi, and I was like, and so I went to her. I can't remember. It was so long ago. It was her website. And I knew I had to get in shape, and then I was scrolling down, and I saw this dude with these abs. I said, "Yo, who is that?" And she goes, it's a good friend of mine. It's Obi. I said, "How old is he?" Right? Because anybody at 21 and 22 can have abs. And I was like, "Oh, okay." So when she told me, I was like, "Oh, okay. I need to get on his program." And so she made the introduction, and then.
But wasn't she supposed to train you? Was that originally?
I can't remember. I can't remember what I was thinking about her possibly training me. Right. But the conference call was about something else. But I was liking what she had to say.
Because I remember when she shared with me, she said that originally you were supposed to train, and then you said, "Who's that dude?" And then you were like, "Wow, I need to get on that guy's program. Maybe I have him train me." And she's like, "Oh."
It was something like that. Yeah. Yeah, because it was. No, that's accurate. That's accurate. That's accurate.
Anyway, so yeah.
Next question: how did ethical come to life?
So how ethical came to life was from the book, right? We did the book, The Cut. And when we, after we put out the book, we got a lot of people emailing us and asking us questions. When you guys come out with another book? What's the next thing? And
still do.
And still do. So even before the book, even before we did the book, The Cut, I always had a desire to want to be attached to a supplement company because my name's been used so many different times for different brands, and I just really was disgusted with the industry, in general. But I really felt like if I was to put my name or create a supplement brand, I really felt like we needed to have a framework, we needed to have a template, we needed to establish credibility, in the industry before actually coming out with a dietary supplement, And I kind of felt like, wow, I just felt like we've got this national narrative as far as helping people with the book.
Right.
And I felt like, why not us use that narrative to create a supplement brand, a supplement line together? And everyone right now, people have trust issues with what they put in their body. So ethical just kind of came about from The Cut, the success of the book of The Cut. But also I just thought like, man, I really don't want to do this solo. I want to do this with my boy, my homeboy, my partner, who we really transformed a lot of people's lives, And I felt like on a bigger national global scale, partnering up with Morris just made a right fit because I knew we were going to get a lot of eyeballs, and I know how he's a guy who just stands for doing the right thing.
And it was just a no-brainer because Obi he's always had a vision of how things are and what he sees, and just his knowledge of just health and wellness in general, amongst many other things. It was just a no-brainer. It fits right in line with who he is, so it was perfect.
And and the whole thing with ethical was that you see a lot of these celebrity lines, and it's a signature line, or some people celebrity lines. It seems like anytime someone wants to create a product, it's always a signature line, and my whole thing when I was sharing with Morris, I did not want to have this supplement to be called Obi Obadike supplements or Morris Chestnut supplements, and we're just so ego driven. You wanted to have it create a brand that stands the test of time.
Yes.
And it has nothing to do about you. It's about really who are you? What do you stand for?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And so ethical, when you have a name called ethical, man, you better not make any mistakes.
That's exactly.
The bullseye's on you now, right?
Without a doubt.
You gotta really, ethical is really about doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
There it is.
You know what I mean?
There it is.
So, yeah.
What makes your partnership awesome?
It started off as a business relationship, but just getting to know Obi throughout the years. He's not only a friend, he's a brother, and I just respect him and the human being that he is. That's to be able to to have the success that we've had, you know, with the book, and even the first time he trained me for the movie, everyone was talking about, hey, you got in such great shape. It's just fun to be able to not only work with somebody you respect, but someone you really care for and appreciate as a human being, and that's what makes it special for me.
Yeah, well, you know, what makes it special for myself is, number one, is I love being around Morris. He's so easy to work with. The guy is one of the most loyal people you'll ever meet. So those qualities, him as a person, easy to work with. But most importantly, I feel like every time we do something, it feels sort of groundbreaking. When you're someone of color, when you're African American, it's not easy. When you're talking about like getting into launching a company, a supplement brand, a health and wellness brand to people of color, you just don't see that. You know, and so my hope is that it's going to really create opportunities for other people that really of color that really have a desire to want to help people in health and wellness on a national level and a global level. So I feel like everything we've done has been groundbreaking. It was groundbreaking being on a national fitness magazine cover,
right.
2 black guys. It was groundbreaking seeing 2 black guys on a diet book cover in the stands.
Yeah.
And so I feel like this partnership is groundbreaking. And I think the great thing about it is that, like, it's not easy to work with someone you get along with, okay? Like, there's so many different variables that you have to connect with, like personality and all these different things. And in all of the years that I've worked with this guy, I don't think I've ever had an argument. Never. I've never really had an argument with the guy. The guy's so easy to work with.
Only green M&Ms. Only green M. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
The only time is we had an assistant editor that was blowing up his number when we were writing the book. He's like, tell her to stop calling me. She's killing me. She calls me all the time. You got that? Oh, tell her to stop calling me. And I'm like, oh, yo, mom, my bad.
I don't even know. I don't remember that. That's hilarious.
Break cares. Oh, man, okay.
Hey, Obi, what's Morris's biggest strength?
His biggest strength is listening. He's a great listener. That's a skill. Like his ability to just be on the phone when you're talking and just listen. Morris, I call him like, and this is a compliment. He's like Michael Corleone. He's a guy that basically is in the room. He's the quietest guy in the room, but he knows what everything is going on. It's like the guy who he's just an observer. Even though he's an actor, he's not going to be the loudest guy in the room. The quietest person is the person you need to be scared about. Because he's like, literally, he knows what everybody's doing. Yeah. He's just an observer. But I really think like his strength is he's great at listening, and that is a skill. Because a lot of people talk, but he's phenomenal at listening and communicating too.
Morris, what is Obi's biggest weakness?
This is a strength, though. I think he cares so much. And when you work with someone who cares so much just about helping people, and is genuine from the heart, that can be a weakness. Because people use those things against people. So if I would have to say it's really a strength, but people can use it and see it as a weakness. And so that's what I would say.
Definitely true.
Who's more competitive out of you two?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
I think we're very similar in that regard.
We're very, very, very similar being Capricorns.
Yeah.
I remember when I first noticed Morris's competitiveness, I was training him at LA Fitness, and he played a basketball game. And I just got to the gym. He just got to the basketball game. I was like, hey, how'd it go? He was like, yo, man, this guy could pass the ball. He kept shooting and shoot. I don't know what was going on, man. And I don't think I think he forgot where he was at, man. And it was almost like I caught him.
That's
I
hilarious.
caught him right in the heat of the moment, and he was just venting. And I was like, hey, Morris, it's okay. And then he started laughing as he realized he was venting. But
that's hilarious.
The basketball game. He was pissed.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, oh, man, my man is really hot right now, man. He wanted to win this game.
I didn't want to win that game. I didn't want to win.
Who picks up the check when you eat at a restaurant?
who picks up the check when we eat at a restaurant. I think we've both done it. We've actually both have done it. I think, you know, the interesting thing about our dynamic is that when you really think of it, we're very similar in a lot of ways, and I think we're extremely balanced in that regard. So we both have picked up the check.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's like they always say that, you know, Capricorns, you know, they get along really well, but like I get along so well with him.
Yeah,
it's almost like a brother that
an
older brother that I never had, because it's funny. Like I anytime he called,
Wait. He's older than you?
You know what? Yeah, you know, apparently.
That's hilarious.
You know.
All right.
On a serious note.
Yes.
Last questions come in. What does ethical mean to your partnership? What does it mean to you?
For me personally, I really want to change the industry. I want to change the world with ethical. I want to educate people on how to exercise, how to work out, how to eat, how to take their supplements. So we are not a supplement company. Ethical is about changing people's life, health, and wellness. Supplements is just icing on the cake. So everything that we did with the book, with this ethical, it's just going to be an extension. It's going to be over and over and over. We're going to over-educate you. And by the way, we do sell supplements. And that's how I see ethical.
Yeah, and honestly, this is not a partnership or a venture I could have taken with anyone else than Obi, because I truly believe, and I know in my heart that he exemplifies the brand of everything that ethical represents. So that's what it means to me.
How do people follow your story? Where can they go to see more?
Then go to ethicalinc.com and @ethicalinc on all the social media platforms.